Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. May I have your attention? We are about to start. Thank you. Thank you very much to everyone for coming to this conference. I'm very honored and happy to see everybody in the room. I'm Sergio Pimenta. I'm the IFC Global Director for Manufacturing, Agribusiness and Services based in Washington, and I'm extremely honored and happy to host you here in Düsseldorf this morning and tomorrow. On behalf of all my colleagues who have helped organize this conference and all done all the work to get us here today, a big thank you to all of you. I have to say we're very excited this is the first conference that we do on this theme. IFC has done, as regularly does, conferences on other sectors, particularly on health, on education, on funds and other sectors. But manufacturing, this is the first one. And when I see the group of very distinguished guests and friends that we have in the room, I'm really very proud of the ability of having everybody coming together and discuss such an important topic as manufacturing today. This is a real great achievement, and very glad that you made the long trips to come. We have representatives from all the regions, people coming here from everywhere, so that we get together and for a day and a half have meaningful discussions on this important sector of the economy. As you know, IFC is the development institution, is a leader on private sector development, the largest multilateral in focusing on private sector in emerging markets. And interestingly, our very first project in 1956 was in the manufacturing sector. And it was with a German company, and that probably explains why we're here in Düsseldorf, sort of paying homage to our very first client, Siemens, that we financed when they went into Brazil. At that time, we financed $2 million. We've come a long way since then. I think next year, this year, our objective for manufacturing in IFC is to invest about $1.5 billion. So we've gone a long way from 1956, but the world also has come a long way, and has been a very interesting evolution of this sector over the last 6 decades. Today and tomorrow, we'll discuss this evolution, and we'll discuss, more importantly, how do we see this sector going ahead in the future. This is going to be the main topic of our discussions. During those 6 decades, we've built very long-lasting relationships with many clients and with many of you, and this is the trademark of IFC. All that we deliver in the countries where we operate, all the impact that we have on the communities, on the economic growth, on the job creation, is through our clients. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being our partners throughout these years. We believe that the future of manufacturing is going to be very interesting when we look at the decades to come, and that manufacturing will continue to play a major role in lifting people out of poverty and increasing shared prosperity, which are the twin goals of the World Bank Group. We have been working on this together, and I should start by introducing some of our colleagues who are here in the room. We have a delegation from IFC who came to spend some time with you so that you also get to know them. This is, of course, an important opportunity for you to get to know our different clients, our different partners, but also I hope to interact with some of our colleagues. I'm very glad to say that all our leadership for the manufacturing sector is here in the room today. We have 2 of our regional heads of industry. We have Carsten Müller, who's regional head for the Eastern Europe and Middle East and North Africa region. We have Merijin Moyo, in the back, who's our regional head for Africa, the Sub-Saharan Africa. And we have some of our regional industry managers, Lucas Casey, for Eastern Europe and the Middle East. We have Leopoldo Sposato for Latin America and the Caribbean. I need new glasses. I cannot see when people stand. Sorry about that. We have Ramesh Ramanathan for Asia. He will come a little bit later, but he will be here. And we have Kalim is here, Kalim Shah, for Africa. So, great. So let me use this moment to acknowledge the work of all the colleagues who are here. I have other colleagues who are also in the room, of course, to spend a lot of time during the last few months preparing for this conference. The theme of this conference is creating markets in manufacturing. Creating markets is the direction in which IFC has embarked over the last year. When we think about the history and our 6 decades of interventions in emerging markets, we realize that we came from a world where private sector had very little say in development to a world where private sector is key. So we've seen over the last decades that private sector has become as large, if not more important, in development agenda than public sector. But going forward, when we look at the more difficult markets where IFC operates, we realize that this is not enough, and we need to do more in order to encourage private sector to go there, in order to create opportunities for private sector to come and participate in the economic development. This is why creating markets, which is IFC's theme for the years to come, is an important part of our strategy. And manufacturing will play a key role in this agenda, mostly directly, but also indirectly through job creation, through bringing innovation, bringing technology, and with all the links that the manufacturing sector has with other sectors such as services. As I mentioned earlier, choosing Germany as a location for the first conference was quite obvious choice for us. And I won't make the joke that our global head of manufacturing, Sabine Schlocker, is German. So, Sabine has been the force behind this conference. The idea came from her, and she has been a key instrumental colleague handling globally our sector. So when we discuss about why choosing Germany, it seems quite obvious when we look at all the transformations in the world that the German economy, in particular in this sector of manufacturing, is a great example of how you adapt to change, or how you create new opportunities, and how you bring innovation. So we thought it would be the right location for our first conference. So this was, as I said, an obvious choice for our first conference. Also, what was an obvious choice was to get a very distinguished keynote speaker to start our conference. As you've seen, we'll have a very interesting program for the next day and a half, and I hope you will enjoy the different sessions. We have a quite brilliant set of panelists coming, and I'm sure that the panels and the debates are going to be very interesting. So will be the discussions among yourselves in parallel to this conference, so do enjoy this time. But we wanted to start with a very interesting keynote speaker, and I'm very grateful that Ricardo Hausmann, a celebrated economist and director at the Harvard Center for International Development, has accepted to give the keynote speak. He has a particular talent for taking some difficult economic concepts and framing them in a way that makes us stop and pay attention and think. His work on the idea of original sin, the financial fragility caused by the inability of developing countries to borrow in their own currencies, is one example of Ricardo's unique style in helping people understand the root of development challenges. He teaches economic development at Harvard Kennedy School and is a former planning minister of Venezuela. He has advised more than 40 developing countries on their efforts to spur growth. So with this, join me in welcoming Dr. Hausmann. Thank you very much.